Kids and cadets, welcome back to Tommy Time. Beautiful 78 degrees in Southwest Florida today. Finally, the nice weather is here after a miserably hot summer. I'm going to take advantage of it and keep plowing ahead, fixing some turds. So I had shown you these two turds, but we never looked at them closely. These were from my Bradenton scrapper. He had dumped them when I was gone. When he came back, I gave 25 for the pair. Figured $12.50 each, just because they're kind of rough. Let's see what the deal is with these. In the meantime, I had shown you this Honda. I do have a blade set. The blades in this were terribly bent. A customer that put this out at the street, one of my scrappers, or the tree service guy picked it up. He doesn't really scrap. So we looked at that. I gave 20 for that. This was the moldy machine with no gas cap on it, with a bent blade like a hoe. Changed out the blade, cleaned this thing up. That's ready to go. Just did paint work on it today. Painted up the engine. So let's look at something else here. This came in this morning. I've done some work for a guy that scraps, and he also does lawn work. I fixed a weed whip for him. He called today and said, hey, I got a Husqvarna blow. Actually, I talked to his wife, who's bilingual. So I says, yeah, bring it by. I'll look at it. He said it ran. So not a bad looking machine. He said he had taped the tube there. He said it's missing the filter and the cover. So he choked it and started it kind of rough, and then he put the choke down. I says, well, why didn't you prime it? So he did, and I saw a bunch of spray down here, and one of the lines squirt out. So that's why he didn't prime it. There's a hole in the fuel line down here. So it did run. I'm not sure what the deal is. Maybe needs to be cleaned up and gone through. If I can get it to idle, make some adjustments on it, I'll get a filter in the cover. So I degreased it. In the meantime, I use my spray, the Awesome Orange. I just put it in a grill and oven cleaner spray bottle, and just keep filling these. So I degrease it. This has been sitting in the sun. So I made it pretty. It had kind of a lot of buildup of crud. The 150 Bravo Tango. So I paid 50 for it. I figured I could get 150 for it when it's running. Former co-worker stopped a few days ago. He says, hey, a buddy of mine's got a saw that he used in the last hurricane, went to use it again, would not start. I said, sure, tell him to bring it by. But he showed up with his buddy today. Oh, there goes the Brotherhood of the Brown. My alma mater and his alma mater. He retired recently as well. So they both showed up. And I told him, yeah, I'd look at it. So this is a nice looking Echo 2022. And then he had this, it's a pole saw. He had the attachment. And I says, I don't need the attachment. I'm going to work on the engine. I says, well, where'd you get this? Because this looks like one of these China deals. And he said he got it online, made in China. So deal with this thing. I dumped the fuel. Fuel looks like buffalo urine. I made a new batch, a 25-to-1, kind of an oily batch. Put that in, it fired off on the first pull. So this is done. It was just gas. I'm going to do the same thing here. Dump this gas. It probably looks like buffalo urine as well. And I haven't done any carb work or adjustments on this. It started on its own. So these were two or one easy fix, probably the same with this. So that's that. That's what I've been doing. Junk's been coming in. Let's look at this Toro Recycler 675. It's got a Kohler engine. This is the one that we had seen. Somebody's got a Mickey Mouse deal here. They've taken the coil kill wire, kind of run it through this momentary switch. So it's probably going to start without doing anything. And to kill it, you ground out the coil with this. I don't know why they mess with that. Other than the cable is dead here, probably broken. It'd be easier to get a cable than to mess around with that contraption. So let me give you model number and all that jazz. No cover on the front wheel drive. Let me see what model this is. Come back here to the ID plate, model 20371. I'll put the serial number down. Country of origin, Mexico. Brotherhood of the Brown went by again. Kind of looked at the truck number. It might have been one I've driven before. So it's got oil in it. Checking the oil level, you put the dipstick right on the threads. Don't screw it down, and we're right at the bottom in the hash mark. So good enough oil to start. It's got fuel down there. Let's look at the air filter. Okay. Invisible air filter, which is doing an awesome job. Not so much. So I'm guessing it's just pulling a bunch of crap in here and not filtering. Needs carb work, I'm guessing, but let's check this out. Data manufacture 2014. Could be February 24th of 14 on the Kohler bill date. Tread looks pretty good here on the fronts. Let's see what it'll do for $12.50. I'm just gonna, pull cord here is shredded, barely anything holding that on. Let me pull on it. It feels like it's got compression. This is going to break any minute now. Let me grab 2+2. Snaky, you hold on for dear life. Kind of a Harvey homeowner blunder on this one. Take the automatic choke, open up my choke wafer, blasted a bunch of dust in with it. Oh, I knew it. I was getting so close. Kind of pulled my left shoulder out of the socket. That's highly unfortunate. Agita. Let me check out the underside. Oh, this one's hoeing. Also, it's related to that craftsman somehow. Distant cousins. Ho, ho, ho. What's up with this hoeing nonsense? Okay, so palm frond, I can tell if they were bushwhacking some rough territory, maybe they hit a root or a rock, because they should not be cutting palm fronds. And some pine needles. It felt like it had compression. Maybe the keyway has an issue. It's going to need a new blade. So can't really tell anything on that one. Sorry, this 2014 is still a mystery. Let's bring up the Snapper 725 EXI. Another $12.50 piece. Okay. So we had seen this thing before, and it's a total disaster. Beauty rings broken here. Looks like they were hacking and slashing to try to get this thing off, cutting this, cutting this. I don't know why they did that. It's got oil. It's got the ID. I'll put that down below. So this is the best side. Then it gets much worse. I should have brought out Ratty Rat. Got some rat damage here. It looks like they took some sort of epoxy and tried to cover this with epoxy and then tape, possibly. And here's a piece of plastic that might have been on here. Actually, it feels like an inner tube with some epoxy on it. Part of an inner tube cut up. No filter, very dirty, so our carb's going to have this in the idle jet. Dry, but I see some debris down in there. Some electrician's tape. Then we had this fiasco. Harvey went to Home Depot, got this 10-inch mending plate, is what they're calling it, and just nut and bolted it because the handle broke right there. Harvey did a fantastic job. I have plenty of these rear ends in stock. I can steal the handle off it. Well used. A lot of wear on the tread here. 725 EXI, like I said, 163 cc. Where can I determine the age? There's no EPA there. There's no engine ID there. Let's take a quick look here. Don't see anything. I can run the snapper number and try to figure out what year this is. I was going to turn it up so you could see, but I got to go over here and do it. So yeah, a couple of rough ones here with the Toro and snapper. Okay, at least they didn't do any gardening with this. No rototilling. Lift isn't sandblasted. I can feel a pretty good gouge right there. The side is fairly smooth. Got a bale of grass. Those used to float ashore in the early 80s. The green grass. Okay, so what we can do, I can't really do anything. I was going to try this with some 2+2 carb cleaner, but I can't. Same issue as the Toro cord, but the recoil's messed up. So broken spring or rusty, not sure, but it's not activating, so we can't do anything here. I'll just pull the plug wire. It's got an NGK. I'm going to turn it over and see if the blade will go 360. So this is going to need a tremendous amount of work. Yeah, we're getting 360 out of it. Let me use the pull cord handle here and try to wrap up the bail bar. Okay, I think I did. I just want to see if I can get a bumpity bump on compression. Yeah, right there. Yeah. Yeah, I get a lot of resistance, so the compression is feeling good. Right there. Yeah, I think we're okay compression wise. It's just everything else is a disaster. The handle tank's got the hole in it. Carb's going to need to be gone through. I'll probably ditch the beauty ring here since this is all chewed up and just have it with the recoil somebody takes a look at this thing and they're going to say, holy cow, this thing's been through the mill. I think that's a T25. I just used it yesterday on another machine. Let me commandeer that Torx and get rid of this thing. If they didn't have a T25, they could have put a small flathead in to grab the groove instead of hacking this thing. If you're in a pinch, there's always a solution. Okay, why isn't this side grabbing? From here, it looks like it's the same bit. Oh, there we go. I think I do have one of these engines that was junk with a good tank. I may swipe the tank off. It might have a beauty ring, a good beauty ring to go with it. So I may be in luck. Since we came this far, let's just keep going. I'm going to get a 10 millimeter and see why this thing's messed up, broken spring or what, or needs lubrication. I'm not going to cry because I spy a solution. Okay. No, I think it's an 8. Actually. Is it an 8? I should know that. That should be imprinted in my brain. Yeah, I'm calling it 8. Just looking. What else is going on with you guys? You're telling me about the snow blowers you're getting and fixing. That's something I've never had to do in Southwest Florida. Maybe the occasional rototiller, but that's about as close to anything with tines. Okay. Okay, what's holding me up here? Something's amiss. What is it? Oh, the cord got wrapped around the cup somehow. So this may be a simple dimple. Both pawls are in place. Somehow this thing jammed itself up and wrapped around the cuppy duppy. Let me try to untangle this thing and see if it retracts on its own. Oh, there we go. It's pulling itself back. Ta-da! So you know what? We're gonna keep going. Put this back on after I lubricate the recoil and pull it with all my might. Okay. I got the 2+2. I got my little oil pumper. Oil up the pawls. Put some on the spring. back in business. Put my plug wire back on so I don't pull on it like a dum-dum. So that might have been the killer, this recoil malfunctioning. They couldn't start it, and it was in rough shape to begin with the hole in the tank. No filter, no cover, bald front tires. They really got their money's worth out of this thing. I'm just going to go with it. No, I can't because it was dry. Tank was dry. Yeah, there's nothing at the bottom of it. So I got to do the 2 + 2. Okay. Let me open the choke linkage, direct inject. Shut the choke and pull on it. Ooh. Kicked off, but it kind of had a bang to it. Let's try that again, see if it replicates that. Okay, spring is missing on the choke wafer here on the top of the carb. It's not pulling the wafer back. Wow, this thing's a dog and a half. Must have been enough fuel in the bowl to get it to start. I was letting it run to see if it was going to run out of fuel, but it didn't. So just the force of the intake opened up the choke. So that'll need attention. So pull cord did it in. This thing must have ran terribly or hard to start with this choke just free dancing. The linkage here is all bent to heck. Right there. See the springs missing. Should attach right there. So yeah, I give the thumbs up on 1250 for that snapper, and maybe this one not so much. think this one will bring more money once it's done after a ton of work. But glad to see it start. That was somewhat exciting. You guys have a nice day. Thanks for coming out. Please tip your waitress and wait staff. They're doing an awesome job and they really appreciate your tips. Adios, amigos.